Hello, welcome to part one of Boss Your Weight Loss Q&A with the RLB. The RLB is, of course, me, the real lost boss, aka Neil. This is something I've been meaning to do for a little bit, actually. I get asked loads of questions on various social media platforms about weight loss, and I thought as an extra little string to my YouTube bow, because I'm trying to sort of branch out my YouTube content a little bit, I thought, do you know what, why not do some Q&A like videos on YouTube? So, where have I got the questions from for the very first Boss Your Weight Loss Q&A? Well, I've got them from Instagram. I've got them from Instagram stories. So, recently I've put a post on saying, what are you struggling with? Weight loss, health, fitness, because I'll answer anything I can to the best of my knowledge. And from the questions that people have asked me on my Instagram stories, I'm responding to them here on YouTube. I have asked everyone's permission who I am responding to, if you mind me posting the question on YouTube, and don't worry, they've all said yes. Some have asked to be kept anonymous, which is absolutely fine. And if you ask me a question in the future on my Instagram stories, and I'm going to answer it on YouTube, I will also contact you to basically make sure you're happy with me to post your tag on there. And if you're not, don't worry, I will hide it, as you will see on this video. Anyway, I'm waffling. Without further ado, should we get to answering some questions? How long these videos are going to be, I have absolutely no idea. I'm thinking of answering 3 to 5 questions per video, and we'll just play it by ear and see where we get to. Right, should we get to answering some questions? Yeah, why not? All right, question 1 is coming from Colette Instagram. Or is it Coletti Instagram? I have no idea, but that's what I'm saying. Probably been asked this one a lot. How do you stay on track with calorie tracking on weekends? Okay, it's something I say a lot. When we're on a weight loss journey, we have to remember there are 7 days in a week, not 5. And a lot of damage can be done on our weight loss journey at the weekend. So if you're doing everything correctly, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, everything's hunky-dory, but then at the weekends, you're not staying accountable, you're not tracking your calories, you're just doing whatever you want, there is a very good chance you will be blowing your calorie allowance at the weekends. And yeah, that's really going to hinder your progress. So how do we stay on track at the weekend? Because the weekends, for most of us, even if we work or not over the weekend, you know, it is the weekend, and we do sort of get that feeling where we want a little bit more freedom. And most people have more freedom at the weekend. You know, they don't have to get up, early in the morning. No alarms need to be set. You've not got any sort of structure or routine. And that kind of is the issue with the weekend. Our routine kind of goes out of the window, and so does, you know, the old weight loss journey, tracking the calories, making sure everything's, you know, still in line. So like I say, we have to make sure that we understand there are 7 days in a week, not 5. And whatever you're doing on a Tuesday, you should be doing on a Saturday or Sunday. So how do we go about it? Well, one rule I've always put into place is I give myself some flexibility and freedom with my eating. I don't look at calories daily, I look at calories weekly. So I do look at calories daily, but I don't stick to set daily calorie allowances. So I consume 2,750 calories a day on average. That's an average. I don't eat 2,750 every single day. That is my average over the week. And certain days of the week, I eat below my daily average, which then allows me to eat on certain days of the week above my daily average, which tends to be Saturday and Sunday. So I normally consume anywhere between 2,000 and 2,500 calories Monday to Friday. Normally around the 2,250 mark, and I aim to bank, I call it calorie banking, around about 2,000 calories for the weekend. So if I ate 400 calories under my average, on average, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I ate 2,350 calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That means on a Saturday and a Sunday, I've got an extra 2,000 calories. So I've got my daily average Saturday of 2,750, my daily average Sunday of 2,750, plus an extra 2,000. That means I could have 3,750 Saturday, 3,750 Sunday. I could have 4,000 Saturday and 3,500 Sunday. You can eat your calories however you choose. And that gives you so much more flexibility and freedom with your eating, especially at a weekend when, like I say, most of us want some extra flexibility and freedom because it's when we want to have takeaway with the family or go out for a nice meal with our partner. It tends to be when birthday parties are, nights out are, and yet we need more calories. I always look at the analogy a bit like money. You know, if you had £40 every single day disposable income, why do you need 40 quid on a Monday? You probably don't. You know, on a Monday you get up, you drive to work, you might get a Tesco meal deal, 3.50, and then you drive home and you have your tea and go to bed. You literally spend £3.50, right? So why do you need 40 quid? You don't. But if you didn't have the ability to save, right? So basically you've got 40 quid Monday, that's it. 40 quid, once it's gone, right? It's just 40 quid Tuesday, 40 quid Wednesday, same Saturday, Sunday. 40 quid ain't going to touch the sides on a Saturday. Saturday's when, you know, you want to go and do a big shop. It's when you want to maybe go out for a bit of lunch with a friend. It's maybe when you want to go down your local and have a couple of drinks at night time. Yeah, 40 quid ain't going to cut it. But if you only spend £3.50 on Saturday and you can take the £36.50 left over and take it to you know, on Monday and take it to Saturday. I'm confusing myself. Likewise, on Tuesday, you might spend £20. You might put a tenner of fuel in and spend £10 on something else and take that 20 quid and take it to Saturday. And then on Wednesday, again, you might just have a meal deal. Take that. See what I mean? You're saving it up. And next thing on a Saturday, you've got 150 quid. You haven't got 40 quid. And your 150 quid, you can go and do a shop in the supermarket. You can go out for a bit of dinner with your mates. And then you can go to the pub and have a couple of drinks at night time. And that's the same with your calories. Whether you've got, if we look at money, say 40 quid a day, which is £280 over a week, whether you have £40 a day to spend, or in terms of calories, 2,000 calories a day, which is 1,400 calories, 14,000 calories, sorry, over a week. It doesn't matter whether you spend 40 quid a day or you spend £10 a day and then, you know, £230 over the weekend, you're still spending 280 quid. Likewise with your calories, it doesn't matter how you spend them. If you stick to that weekly amount, it really doesn't matter. So let's take, 2,000 calories a day, 14,000 calories over a week. You might eat 1,700 calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, extra 1,500 calories. So you have 2,750 Saturday, 2,750 Sunday. Boom, you still had 14,000 calories over a week. That then makes tracking calories, sticking to plan at weekends a lot easier. It's definitely the way to go if you are tracking calories for weight loss, and it will give you a lot of flexibility and freedom. Now, one of the things we might struggle with a little bit at the weekend is that lack of routine. So we still need to plan a little bit. You don't need to be quite as rigid as you would be Monday to Friday, but you know, little things I tend to do is I like to know what I'm doing at the weekend. I like to know how many calories I'm probably going to need at the weekend. You know, are we going out for a meal? Are we going out to the pub? Are we just having a night in and having a takeaway? Obviously, different things require different calories, so you can plan a little bit going forward. Also at weekends, some people struggle because if they're going out to, say, an independent pub, they might struggle to, you know, stay on top of tracking because they don't quite understand how to track calories when they're not displayed on a menu. What you need to do with that is just think of a brand equivalent. But I think this question here is more about, you know, I'm really good during the week, I'm rubbish at the weekends. Well, give yourself some flexibility and freedom at weekends, and it's going to make it a lot easier to stay on track. Okay, question 2, menopause and losing weight from Dreamy FM. I've actually just done some social media content on this, which probably will have been posted by the time I post this video. Will it? Will it not? I don't know. Anyway, yes, the menopause and weight loss, a very common topic. And because it's a common topic, I have done a lot of research on it. When I talk about menopause and weight loss, I do get a little bit of hate on social media, which I fully understand, and I don't take it to heart. I don't take it personal. And I think that's because I'm male. And obviously, you know, I've not gone through the menopause. But just because someone hasn't gone through something doesn't mean they're not good at coaching it, right? Don't get me wrong. I attract a lot of people to my social media channels to working with me as an online weight loss coach, because I used to be 37 stone. I've lost half my weight and I've maintained that for a lot of years now. So people kind of see me as, you know, I've been there, I've done it, so I'm good at what I do. And don't get me wrong, it has massively helped. It really, really has. But that doesn't mean someone that has never had a weight issue doesn't give good advice and can't be, you know, give empathy to someone that is overweight. I do get why people are drawn to me. Likewise, you know, if I was learning to play golf, I would be drawn to an ex-pro golfer, because you kind of like, you look at them and go, they've done it. They've been there. They know what it's all about. I reckon it's worth having a lesson with them. That's kind of, you know, kind of the same mentality. But you know, yes, I am male, so I've not been through the menopause, but I've worked with so many clients over the years that have gone through the menopause. A good majority of those clients have had weight loss success. And like I say, I am very much, you know, I put hours and hours of research into learning all different things about weight loss. So I feel I have got the experience to talk about it. So I hope, you know, what I say helps. A lot of people don't like what I say, if I'm being honest with you, about the menopause. And I think this is why I get a little bit of backlash, because people think I'm not being empathetic. But it's the honest truth, okay? The menopause does not really have a direct effect on fat loss stroke weight loss. You know, it's not a case of as soon as a female hits the menopause, they gain weight or they can't lose body fat. The menopause stops me losing body fat. It doesn't work like that. Nothing in the body stops us losing body fat. This is a pound of body fat. It contains 3,500 calories. And whether you're 18 or 80, male or female, whether you're going through the menopause or not, if you stick to a 3,500 calorie deficit, you will lose a pound of body fat. The main issue with certain things that go on in the body is it affects our consistency to stick to the deficit. Someone that's overweight, if they stick to being in a calorie deficit, they lose weight week in, week out. So why don't they lose weight week in, week out? Because the main issue most people have is consistency, is being able to stick to something. Now, I coach healthy, sustainable weight loss, and that is a big reason why a lot of my clients going through the menopause are able to stick to what I coach. But then I also offer some tips, tricks, little things that need to be put into place to help with that consistency. What are the issues with the menopause? Why does it stop females being consistent? There's a few different reasons, if I'm being honest with you. But one of the big ones is hormone imbalance. And that hormone imbalance of the change that the body is going through can do lots of different things. But one of the big things it does is trigger emotional eating. Loads of people struggle with emotional eating anyway, but even more so when you are going through the menopause. And I'm not labeling this as an issue for every single female. It honestly isn't, because if that was the case, we'd then have to, assume that every single female going through the menopause has a weight issue. They don't. Every single female going through the menopause doesn't, struggles to lose weight. They don't. But it is an issue for a good amount of people. So, hormone imbalance triggers emotional eating, it triggers cravings, it triggers comfort from food. Right? And that makes it harder to control our calorie intake. Another issue with the menopause is it can trigger things like, or it can make you fatigued. It can make you more tired. If we are more tired is a negative emotion, which can, again, trigger emotional eating. But also, if we are tired, that can certainly limit the amount we move on a day-to-day basis. That in turn is going to lower our calorie burn, and it will certainly make it harder to lose weight or easier to gain weight if you are overeating calories. Other issues with the menopause, and this is something a lot of people don't think about, is when you are going through the menopause, you are going through the menopause later in life. Now, a lot of people think age stops us losing weight. It actually doesn't. Lifestyle is another thing that stops us losing weight, the way we live our lifestyles. And, people, I'm not saying this is the same for everybody, but a common trend is as we get older, we tend to have a bit more freedom. You know, if you are at the age where you are going through the menopause, your kids might be a bit more grown up. You might, you know, then have more freedom to go out for meals, go out with friends, go out for drinks. Likewise, average salary of someone in their mid 40s, late 40s, early 50s, mid 50s, late 50s is a lot higher than someone in their early 20s. More disposable income, again, means more meals out, more drinking. And we do need to look at that. We do need to look at, you know, the lifestyle we lead. I do take a lot of clients on board and they want to live their best life, which I get, right? But if you're unhappy with your weight, you're not living your best life. But, you know, a lot of people are like, well, I want to go out for a meal every Saturday night, Neil, and lose weight. There has to be some compromise somewhere. So there's a few different factors. When I say the menopause doesn't have any direct effect, what I mean is calorie deficit is calorie deficit. You stick to a 3,500 calorie deficit, you're going to lose a pound of body fat. One thing that the menopause can do is it can create an underactive thyroid. And how I tend to describe the thyroid gland is it's like a little dial in the neck that helps to regulate our metabolism. And if you have an underactive thyroid, it turns your metabolism down a little bit. If you have an overactive thyroid, it turns your metabolism up a little bit. Underactive means your metabolism is slightly slower. Your calorie burn is less than it should be. Overactive, your calorie burn is more than it should be, but it doesn't really make a massive difference. On average, it's about 10%. So if you should be burning 2,000 calories a day and you develop an underactive thyroid, you're on 1,800 calories a day. 200 calories a day, don't get me wrong, is 200 calories a day. And if you use something like an online calorie calculator that doesn't take that into account, then you're straight away going to be consuming 1,500 calories a week more than you should be doing. But can we put things into place again that counterbalance that drop in calorie burn? Yeah, move more, exercise, high protein diet, high fiber diet. All these things will increase your overall calorie burn, which can quite easily counterbalance the effects of an underactive thyroid. All those things as well. I know this might sound daft, but you might be like, well, you just said fatigue there, Neil. Yeah. The more you move, the more energy you have. At the start, it's tough because you're tired. But if you fight it, and that's what we have to do sometimes, grit our teeth, and the more we move, the more energy we generate. Again, an analogy I use for that is, think of a wind turbine. A wind turbine that's doing that is generating minimal electricity. A wind turbine, when it's blowing a gale, it's spinning around like that, is generating lots of electricity. So the more you move, the more energy you will have. So, quick summary, if you're going through the menopause and you're struggling to lose weight, you just need to understand that there's no real direct effect on fat loss going through the menopause. You may have an underactive thyroid, which means you burn slightly less calories than you should be doing, so that needs to be taken into account. One thing you need to understand is going through the menopause can make it harder to stick to a calorie deficit to be consistent because, you know, emotionally in cravings, fatigue, all these things can affect that consistency. And what we need to do is we need to put things into place to counterbalance that. More movement, add a bit of exercise, improve your overall diet, more protein, more fiber. And it doesn't matter what tips and tricks I come out with, they'll help, but you need to grit your teeth and you need to get at it. Right? And I know that can be easier said than done sometimes, but that can be the answer for a lot of people. Sometimes it's also down to how much you want it and how much you're willing to compromise, again, with that lifestyle. Like I say, it shouldn't be a sacrifice, but it needs to be a compromise. You know, you might be like, well, I'm in my mid-50s, Neil. I'm semi-retired. I've got no kids at home. I want to go out doing bottomless brunches with the girls every Saturday, or I want to go out for a meal with my partner every Friday. Okay, but then you need to ask yourself, what is the priority? You know, is it that, living your life the way you want to live your life, or is it weight loss? Because there has to be a bit of compromise. I'm not saying you can't do your bottomless brunches. Yes, you can. I'm not saying you can't go out for meals. Of course you can, but not week in, week out. There has to be a little bit of balance. All right. Next one, I really want to know what I should be eating to slowly lose weight and keep it off. And this person wanted to Anyway, wanted to be anonymous, which is absolutely fine. So how do I know? I really want to know what I should be eating, slowly lose weight and keep it off. Okay, so fat loss isn't down to what we eat. It is simply down to calories in versus calories out. What we class as slow weight loss is different for different people. I coach people to lose £1 a week on average, which is a 3,500 calorie deficit. Some people would say that's slow weight loss. I don't. I say that is healthy, sustainable weight loss. Slow weight loss for me would be losing a quarter to half a pound, right? But a lot of us are used to doing crazy fad crash diets and losing £4 a week. Yeah, well, you need to give them up, because if they worked, you wouldn't be asking me questions about fat loss and weight loss. So yeah, calories in versus calories out determines the speed of how much you lose weight. If you have a 3,500 calorie deficit each week on average, you'll lose £1 of body fat each week. If it's 7,000 calorie deficit each week on average, £2. 10,500 calorie deficit, £3. So the bigger the deficit, the more weight we lose. But the bigger the deficit, the bigger the chance that that deficit is going to be too restrictive, unhealthy, unsustainable, and you will crash and burn. It's very easy to make something that can be very healthy and sustainable very unhealthy and unsustainable. So most people, healthy, sustainable, 500 calorie a day deficit on average, 3,500 calories a week, less than you burn. I'm not telling you to eat 3,500 calories a week. I'm telling you to consume 3,500 calories a week, less than you burn. So if you burn 17,500 calories a week and you eat 14,000 calories, on average, weight loss isn't linear, but on average, you'll lose one of these a week. Now, you can eat whatever you want and consistently lose weight. Should you? I would say no, because one of the main reasons why you should be losing weight is to get healthier, and calories in versus calories out determines the amount of fat we're going to lose over a period of time. What our calories are made up of will determine our health. So I recommend making 80% of your diet healthy and nutritious, 20% whatever you want. There's also other benefits of eating healthier while losing weight. So as I mentioned before in the previous question about menopause, high protein, high fiber diet is great for kind of increasing your calorie burn a little bit. It also fills you up, and you tend not to get a lot of protein or a lot of fiber in unhealthier foods. More healthier foods, fruits, your veggies, your chicken breast is where you get, nice lean protein from. And yeah, your fruits and veggies and your whole grains and stuff like that is where you get your fiber from. Also, the healthier you eat, the more volume you're going to get. All right? A double cheeseburger from McDonald's, again, I'm not telling you not to eat a double cheeseburger from McDonald's, but a double cheeseburger from McDonald's is 440 calories. That is the equivalent of at least 8 apples. Right? So you look at the weight of 8 apples and the amount of 8 apples and the size of a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. Like I say, I'm not saying you just need to eat apples. I'm not saying you can't eat double, but the healthier you eat, so if 80% of your diet is healthy and nutritious, you're going to get a lot of volume in there while being in a calorie deficit, and that's going to help keep you fuller for longer, keep you more satisfied, and again, make the journey more sustainable. So what you should be eating: lean protein, right? Examples of that: chicken breast, white fish, 5% fat minces, things like that. Fibrous carbohydrates, which fibrous carbohydrates are fruits and veggies as well, but fibrous carbohydrates to me is more potatoes with the skin on. Yes, I know that's a veg, but we do put potatoes in a slightly separate category to fruit and veg. If you ever notice, if you track your calories with NutriCheck and you have potatoes in, it doesn't make your five a day go up. Anyway, potato with the skin on, wholemeal bread, wholemeal pasta, oats, things like that. That is a fibrous carbohydrate. Fruits and veggies tend to have fiber, and obviously some fruits have more fiber than others. I would stick to things like berries, absolutely amazing. So blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, apples, oranges, superb. In terms of veggies, green veggies are brilliant, very low calorie, good amount of fiber in them. So things like your broccolis, your cauliflowers, and stuff like that. Carrots, root veg, again, with the skin on. So don't peel your carrots, don't peel your potatoes and stuff like that. Peas, corn, legumes, beans, all these things, fantastic. to eat. Low fat dairy, what do we class as low fat dairy? Yeah, 0% fat Greek yogurts, things like that. Reduced fat cheeses, reduced fat cottage cheese, stuff like that. Semi-skim milk. I can't bring myself to drink skim milk. I'm from a farming community and I'd be run out of the village with pitchforks and fire if I drank skim milk. So I drink semi-skim milk, but it's still a lower fat dairy because it's less fat and less calories than your skim milk, than your whole milk, and also good fats. Now, fat, whether it's unhealthy or healthy, so whether it's saturated or a trans fat, or whether it's mono or polyunsaturated, it's pretty calorific, but you do need to get some fats into your diet, but try and have more good fats. So your monounsaturated and your polyunsaturated fats, like your olive oil, your mackerel, your salmon, things like that, your avocado, rather than your saturated fat, which is generally animal fat, though things like coconut oil is a saturated fat, and your trans fats, which tends to be saturated fats that have been baked or heated up to a higher temperature. So kind of when you're sort of deep frying things, it can make a saturated fat into a trans fat. And they're not good for us. They're really, really unhealthy. But what you eat determines your health. Calories in, calories out determines your fat loss. That is something that you need to understand. And last but by no means least, alcohol on a weekend ruins my appetite for days. I feel starving. Any solutions? I don't know if this is Steph League or Steve Fleague, or I have no idea how to pronounce their name, but anyway, please forgive me for that. But when I first read this, it said alcohol ruins my appetite for days. I was like, ruins your appetite for days? What means you don't want to eat? And I think what this person means is, yeah, it makes them hungry. And yeah, that is my issue with alcohol. It really, really is. I do struggle to control my calorie intake if I have a good few beers. If I have one or two, I'm all right. But yeah, if I'm going out on a Saturday night and having a few beers, that hangover day, I just want to eat and eat and eat. So what is the solution? Well, the honest truth is, a bit like I've already said in the Q&A about the menopause, is we have to make compromise, not sacrifice. So it doesn't mean we can't go out, but if you're wanting to have a successful weight loss journey, but you're also wanting to go out on the smash, every week, no, we need to knock that on the head a little bit. Like I say, it doesn't mean you can't go out, but, things that are going to really inhibit this journey, we need to limit. So I would highly recommend, if you like having a couple of beers, have a couple of beers. You need to know your limits. Now, obviously, drink responsibly, and I'm not trying to promote drinking or anything like that. But you might be like, no, Friday night, I like having a few beers after work. Fine. As long as you fit them into your calories and it doesn't have any adverse effects on your journey, not an issue. Honestly, it's not an issue. But if it is doing, then you need to limit it. And you need to know where your limits are. When I started my weight loss journey, I didn't want to not go to the pub. It's kind of what my social life was at the time. And I was single and I didn't really want to miss out on that. So I used to go out on a Friday straight after work and get absolutely smashed. Right? And when I started my weight loss journey, I still went out on a Friday, but I used to go out at 8. I used to go home at 10 and I'd have 4 pints. That was it. I'd have 4 pints. And I did that week in, week out. And I lost over 100 pounds in my first 10 months of my journey. And having 4 pints was, it fitted in with my calories. It didn't trigger any lack of self-control around eating. It was just good balance. In summer, I used to push it to 5 pints, but I used to drink about 1.5 miles away from where I lived. And when I first started my journey, I couldn't really walk anywhere. 4 or 5 months into my journey, I started in February. So when I got into July, August, my mobility was miles better. And I used to get the bus home normally, but in summer, if the weather was decent, I would have an extra pint. I'd have 5, but I'd walk home. And honestly, by the time I'd walked home 1.5 miles, I pretty much felt like I'd not even had a beer. So that's what worked for me. So yeah, and do you know what now? If I go out on a Saturday and have a really good drink, which isn't that often if I'm being honest with you, but if I have a really good drink, that not only affects my self-control around my eating on Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday, sometimes into Wednesday, I'm fighting it. And you just crave things like, carbs and sweets and yeah. So yeah, the solution is you need to knock it on the head. I would recommend no more. And you might be someone that's young, single, you want to go out, you don't want to miss out on life too much. I kind of get that, but I would recommend if you're going out for a good drink, I would limit it to once every 3 to maybe once a month. It doesn't mean the other weekends you can't go to your local or go out with a couple of mates and have 2 or 3 pints like I used to do, but you need to know where those limits are and where you cross the boundary to where it really starts affecting things. Other than that, alcohol's just calories, and as the calories fit in with your calorie allowance, that's fine. But yeah, if it's having, like I say, adverse effects on self-control, which is the main issue for me, it really, really is, then yeah, you just need to, again, make a compromise, not a sacrifice. And you've got to ask yourself what's more important. And we have to ask ourselves what the priority is. Is the priority going out and getting smashed every weekend, or is the priority weight loss and going out maybe once every 3 to 4 weeks? Yeah, and trust me, if you limit it to once every 3 to 4 weeks, you'll enjoy it way more. Honestly, you will. It gets to a point where you get fed up of going out and drinking and doing this, you know. And when you start realizing, oh, Sunday morning, this is what it's like not to be hanging out my bum and craving McDonald's breakfast and actually feeling a bit sprightly. You'll like that. You will. But again, it's a bad habit, isn't it? You know, going out all the time is a bad habit, and it can be hard to break that habit. Right? That's it. That's it. I've done 4. I think that's enough for today. So I hope you found some of those answers beneficial. Like I say, I know they're questions from an individual, but trust me, there'll be lots of you out there wanting to know about the menopause, know about alcohol, know what to eat on a weight loss journey. And again, there'll be lots of you out there struggling with your weekends. So hopefully that has helped a good few of you, not just the people that have asked the questions. Going forward, keep a lookout. I quite like this format. I like the way I can screenshot the questions and then pin them to the video for you to see. So yeah, keep a lookout on the old Instagram. I'm probably going to post it on a Monday. And if you've got any questions, get it in the box on my Instagram story, and I will do a reply in one of these videos at some point in the future. Guys, as always, if you would subscribe to the channel, that'd be amazing. Tell people about the channel. Read the description as well. I'll have each question written out in there as well. And I'll also have all the details of how I can personally help you with your weight loss journey. And as always, until next time you are, tucking into a bit of my content, make sure you boss your weight loss.